It's Nightcap at the Grateful Fed with Casey Easton.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Nightcap at the Grateful Fed with Casey Easton and Bonnie Gratz.
Hello.
Hi. The artistic director of New Vintage Theater, Bonnie effing Gratz. Welcome.
Hi.
Lovely to see you.
Pleasure to meet you.
What are you drinking?
Pleasure to meet you,
Is
sir.
that rum?
It was rum, but it's now pop because I have to drive.
Yeah.
And I'm a responsible individual.
And it's Christmas time.
And this is going on TV, and I'm also a high school teacher.
It's not going on TV. It just goes on the internet. Nobody
The
cares.
internet. The new TV.
Nobody watches it anyway.
Okay, good.
Yeah, and we can edit it.
Okay, good. You did say that, yeah.
Okay, question number one. What's your favorite swear word?
Oh.
Come on.
You know what?
I made Anna Jackson swear.
Big swearer.
I know, that's why
I'm not a big swearer.
I couldn't get Gordon
I'm not-
Mazzuti to say poo-poo caca.
Honestly, like when I'm writing with people
Yep.
and they're big swearers like yourself.
I'm not. It's
we
just a
usually
shtick.
we usually try to go and create our own swear words. So
Like what?
well, just
Ninny muggins?
yeah.
Aw.
Yeah. I'm just not a big swearer. Just ask anyone.
Okay.
I don't swear a lot. But I have been known to swear when I get really, really frustrated.
Yeah.
But here I am in such a happy place. Why would I swear?
Exactly.
Why?
However, when you are really frustrated, what is the word you use?
I'm not falling for that trick, sir.
Who are you and what do you do?
That's a very, very good question. I don't know who I am, and I honestly do lots of different things.
Yeah.
So there isn't, that could be, and he has now 32 minutes left to tape, so we just can't really go there. Basically, I love theater.
Yep.
And I'm very passionate about teaching, and those two things sometimes combine and sometimes they separate.
Mm-hmm.
And I work here in Kelowna, and it's fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
So let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
Where do you come from?
Well, I was born in Calgary, and I lived there for most of my formative years. And then I moved to Central Alberta in the very last part of high school, and
Like Edmonton?
no, Olds, Alberta. I left the wonderful, wonderful school environment of fine arts fame like high school in Okotoks, Alberta, and I was cruelly moved to Olds, Alberta, which didn't even have a drama program.
Ah!
However, that experience allowed me to meet the man at the back, the handsome hunk of man,
Isn't it-
Derek Gratz.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah, and at the tender age of 17 years old, he is much older than me at 18. He sat in front of me in English
Creepy.
class, and we've been together. Well, we've sort of been together ever since Derek went away to school for 4 years,
Yeah.
and we sort of back and forth, but yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so that was great. And then we've had lots of adventures in different places. We've lived in the booming metropolis of Red Deer, Alberta. We've lived in Edmonton and back to Calgary and now Kelowna.
Isn't it interesting how sometimes life's little kerfuffles wind up to be one of the biggest blessings?
That's right.
That's
That
nice.
little kerfuffle.
Yeah.
See, look, you're doing just
I'm
like
learning.
me.
I'm actually, I don't know what you've heard from Rob Mason Brown, but I'm actually very directable.
You're very charming.
Are you a teacher?
I am a teacher
Yeah.
right now, yes. I teach every single day well, not every single day, but every weekday at KSS. Yeah, and I'm really, really enjoying it. I was previously an RSS girl, and now I'm at KSS, and I wasn't sure, am I gonna like going to a new school? And I actually...
RRSS?
An RSS to KSS, and it's been awesome.
I see, John.
Yeah, so, yeah, it's
Dave.
cool. I teach English there now.
Do you?
I do, yes.
Nice.
So when I'm not doing theater stuff, I'm marking a lot of papers.
So you're actually smart.
I am. I'll own it.
I'm not that I doubted that you were smart. I'm just saying most people in the theater are not very. I don't even know. I'm trying to rib Rob, but he hits really hard, so I'm not doing
No, yeah, it's.
that. I know he's gone. It's a metaphor. It's a pretend.
I find that there are a lot of very intelligent theater people.
I know. I was being a jerk, and you corrected me, and I apologize. She's got a power, doesn't she?
It's powerful.
What's your history in the arts?
Well, I just
before Kelowna. Before Kelowna.
Well, I just started as a little kid. Like
Yeah.
I was like your lovely lover, and started as a little kid and made up little plays on the street with my friends and invited teachers over to my house, much unbeknownst to my parents who were like, "What are you doing here?" Yeah, just it was always something I wanted to do from a very, very young age.
Yeah.
I tortured my family and forced them to watch my shows, and they're still being tortured, having to come to my shows. And yeah, I was lucky to live in a place where there was like lots of little things being filmed, little projects. So I did like TV and film stuff as well, and just sort of grew up around it and was so lucky to get different opportunities and
It's just something that's in
decided
you.
it was something I wanted to do. And so I went to university and studied and got lots of different opportunities, either by volunteering or by performing, and ended up doing Fringe Theatre in Edmonton. And yeah, I moved back to Calgary. When I moved back to Calgary, our kids were little, and I thought, you know, I really don't want to be teaching and trying to manage being a parent because I want to stay home with them as well. So I'm just going to start small, and this is sort of my life story. I'll start small and just have a few drama classes, and then it just got really, really big. And so then I was performing, and I had a touring theater company, and we were doing all the kid shows at Stage West, and had theater schools all over the city, and it just sort of happens that way. I don't know. It's just happens that way. I'm the go big or go home girl. It's like a grass
fire. You know, you're just like, I just want to
listen. Like a grass fire. I'm the go big or go home girl. I don't ever start that way, but it gets that way really quickly. And I don't know. It's hard for me to do things.
You're not good at sitting on your hands and watching
scale.
TV.
I'm kind of a big scale kind of thinker.
It's just in you. It's innate.
I think so, yeah.
So as the sun burns, what do I have here? It's so awful, but it's on purpose, right?
It's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad.
But it's still as good. It's still as good as pretty much every other soap opera that's on TV.
Yeah, well,
I watched a couple episodes and I was like, "What in the am I watching right now?"
It's true.
Yeah,
it's true.
But then 10 minutes after that, I'm laughing.
I know it is.
And I don't even smoke pot.
I know.
So.
Well, we just started to understand that actually people were watching it because we never even thought anybody would watch it, which I mean,
like this show.
You talk 5 or 6 people, I don't know, but every once in a while, myself and the other actors in our group would have these experiences with people on the street, and they'd look at you like, "I know something about you," and I'm like, "Uh-oh, they watched us." Yeah, but it's a great. It was the best.
Will you ever get back together with Clarence? Oh, okay. Now I see what's going on here. Yeah.
It's just so fantastic to be able to create your own characters and to be able to do that like long form improv where you can develop things over time.
Right.
We all developed our skills. We got to work in a studio. We got to do the show live on stage. It has been a tremendous experience, and I think when you improvise, it brings up your skill level as a performer in so many different ways. You actually have to listen, right? So
this actually sort of feels like how this show is developed.
I know.
Really?
Yeah.
Because you watch it and you're like, "That was dumb," or too many pauses, or that, you know, and you just instinctively tweak it next time you do it.
Yeah, but it's been a tremendous experience. We've wrapped up that plot line finally after like 5 years. But I wrote like over 50 different episodes of that ridiculous show, and it was really cool. It was a really fun experience, and we trained a whole lot of people about how to work in a studio, how that all works. We had lots of fun. It was really fun. Stupid fun, but fun.
Yeah. No, it's hilarious. Because I've had people criticize to me in just conversation, and I'm like, yeah, you don't actually get it, is what I'm thinking, because it's not meant to be Oscar performance. It's a bloody soap opera.
Not.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
So what is the latest show that you've written? Because you're also a writer.
Yeah.
What's the latest show that you've written?
Okay, so I just finished doing a show called In One Night at just in our little space. And just in our wee little space at like where we do rehearsals and stuff, so it's like pretty easy to fill because it's small. Yeah, I'm really proud of that show. I write a lot for kids and a lot of adaptations because that's kind of like my wheelhouse, what I do. But this is a play that was for adults, and I just was really, really proud of how it turned out, and I hope that we get to do it again and that other people will do it as well. I think it's got a lot of possibilities.
Well, one of the beauties of owning your own theatre company is hope that you can do it again. You can actually just do it again if you decide
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And I don't own the theatre company, to be more specific. It's a charity, so it's
Sorry, I meant
owned
potato.
by the world.
I meant potato, not patata.
Yeah, but I do want to say that there is a great advantage to being an artistic director of a theatre company because you get to pick your own stuff. I'm a really easy person to negotiate with as a playwright because I work really inexpensively and I'm available, my work's available, but
I think when the artistic director and the writer and the director know each other,
it's very convenient.
It's really easy to communicate.
Yeah, it's very convenient.
You just have to close your eyes and go, done, nice, love it.
But the cool thing is when actually other people like what is in your brain, that's the cool thing, because it is, I mean, it's a little silly, right, to be putting your own plays on, but when people like them, you're like, wow, that's really cool. I don't just look like a big jerk all the time putting my own stuff in. A lot of it is...
I put my own stuff in, but I do look like a big jerk all the time.
I don't think so. But I do think that it's wonderful to get like lots of different playwrights work into, and every year we have other playwrights work in, and it's really gratifying to see work from this area being performed and seeing people respond so well to it. Like, you know, CJ Wilkins just did, and there's people that are here today that were just in his play. And like, people are crazy about that play, you know, and never been seen before. Swipe right, amazing. And that is like incredible, you know. So that's cool. I get so much pleasure out of seeing other people.
Makes it all worth it.
Other people.
That's our paycheck at the end of the day.
It is.
So what is your best experience ever on stage and your worst experience ever on stage? You never pooped your pants, did you? Because Brandon Shalansky did.
No, I didn't, but I did see that interview, and I saw you, I had to prepare for this, and that's the one I watched. You were drawing like penises on his card, and then you asked him if you pooped his pants. Do you know why I did that? Do
you know why I did that? Because he used to do that in rehearsal all the time. He'd be like... And he would keep doing this, and it'd be like 40 minutes, right? When somebody else is rehearsing, then you turn around. And it's like fucking a C and B, right? And it was the funniest thing I'd ever seen. That's why I did it, because it was bringing back a shtick to the... So are you a big yeller when you direct? Do you yell at people? Do you like, oh, no, wrong?
I'm an anti-yelling person.
Yeah.
I'm anti-yelling.
You strike me that way.
I am definitely anti-yelling. I like
are
a warm,
are you one of those people,
like environment.
But when you get quieter, is it scarier?
I do, like, there'll be times when I'm like, bah, I have to leave, and I'll be like, conference, like conference with stage manager, conference, we gotta talk, break time, and we'll do that. But no, I definitely am not a yeller.
That emotional content goes with something that you really care about. I mean, there has to be that emotional content. So sometimes it's just like, oh my God, I'm gonna lose my mind. But then it's good to remove yourself. But it's a baby. It's a thing. For sure.
And I've been known to like get verklempt or to like get overwhelmed and say to people like, this is really important to me, you guys. Like, let's make this important to everyone. So I'm not short of emotion. But I've just never been, like, I was never raised in a house. My parents never yelled at each other, and you know, Derek and I, we're not yellers, so I get really uncomfortable when that happens. And I also feel like in the environments that I worked in that were most productive, there was never that yelling that went on between people. It's like a business, like a very professional environment. And when you had disagreements, of course you have disagreements, but you don't put anyone down or make somebody feel bad. Yeah. So that's sort of where I come from. And I'm also a teacher, so I'm always like,
oh, that's
you
true
know.
Too. My brother didn't say thank you the right way one time at Christmas, and my dad threw the Christmas tree through the window, and it was 40 below outside. So that's my environment. That's why we're a little different. Ebony and ivory.
Yeah, we are different that way. So you talked about my best experience and my worst experience. My worst experience was actually with my best friend on stage when I was in grade 9. We were doing a kind of like junior high version of Waiting for Godot. There was only 4 people in the cast, and 2 of them are really cute guys that we had crushes on, and then my best friend and I. And my best friend just got overwhelmed with how beautiful one of them was in a loincloth, and she forgot every single line she had, and it was an hour-long play.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what I was gonna do, and I just had to say her lines and my lines, and it was just a train wreck. And that was terrifying, but we managed to get through it, and people watched it.
Most of them didn't even know.
Probably not, because
So
there was a
always have to
beautiful man
remember,
in a loincloth.
As an actor, you have to remember there aren't everybody in the audience isn't going like.
Yeah, it was pretty terrifying. And what best experiences? There's been like a lot of really incredible experiences that I've had on stage, but I really love scaring people. And just because I'm in Kelowna.
Interesting.
The Bone House is a play that I was in with Brad Hull and Corey Armour, and we scared the bejesus out of people. And I would sit backstage listening to people scream and cry out in fear and just be so excited and so scared at the same time. Like, it's so real. Even as an actor backstage, I was shaking. And that was just, Corey and Brad and I would just kind of sit at the end and just laugh about how scared we made everyone. It was just
Brad's
decompress.
a lot of fun to work
Yeah.
with. I've never worked with Corey, but so you got Little Shop of Horrors coming up, do you?
Yes.
That's one of the many shows. And Mr. Danny Tagle is what's he doing? He's directing that thing?
He is directing it,
Wow,
yeah.
he's a talented boy.
He is a very talented
He
man.
used to work for Disney.
He did.
No? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, we're really looking forward to
I love that guy.
the big show
Yep.
in the spring. And yeah, it's going to be spectacular. So, yeah.
We were in Les Mis together.
Oh, go.
Would you like to hear an impression?
Sure.
My impression of
Sure.
Danny Tagle?
Sure.
The Filipino machino?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Hey, Danny.
Are you familiar with Les Mis?
I am very familiar with Les Mis.
Should I do it? Do you want to hear it?
Yeah.
Do you not want to hear it?
No, I do want to hear it because I directed...
Mary is no longer a child. I do not doubt that you mean it well. Our little rights don't count at all. That's all I got. Did you hear the Filipino in there?
I did.
Right? I really worked on that for a long time for you.
That was beautiful.
That was for you. That's my
Thank you.
gift to you.
Thank you for that gift.
Was that annoying?
Not at all.
You've also
Not
got-
at all. I
you got-
love Danny.
You got Lindsay Wong working with her? Have you heard her sing opera?
I have. I listen to Lindsay sing opera every time we do warm up because she
she's
just
hella
has
talented.
got an incredible gift. She's incredible.
And then I saw Macbeth, Kendra. Kendra Hesketh.
Yes.
Very talented.
Yeah. Kendra is the bomb. She's the theater queen. She's just so spectacularly talented in so many different ways. And
Yep.
her and I have kismet.
She's been
of
in
passion.
a few movies. She's been in a few movies.
She sure has.
Yeah. And I saw Essay and the Russian play, Elena Bizovi. So what draws talented people to your theater company? Because these are some talented
They're very talented.
powerhouses, as it were.
I don't know. You would have to probably talk to them, but I think what we really like about what I like about working with Alana and with Kendra and with Danny and Lindsay and all the people that have worked with Michelle.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the list goes on and on.
Yeah,
I
but-
left a lot of people out that I could keep going.
But I think we are all really like we all have a like passion and a huge desire to do things really well, and we want to see things, be at the best possible point they can be at by the time audiences see them,
Yeah.
and that those like-minded people together is an exciting thing.
Yeah.
And I think it's cool to be like go in a lot of different directions in terms of like our programming. So we don't tend to stick to shows that people know, and so they're adventurous, and they like the adventure. Like Alana choosing Hannah Moskovich's plays, that was a big thing for her. She's always wanted to do those plays, and so it was so exciting that she found a place to do them. And
And they're great.
Fantastic.
I love those shows.
yeah,
Love them.
fantastic.
Crowd questions for Bonnie Gratz. Come on. There's got to be some. The notorious Bonnie Gratz. Nothing? Nobody? Really? Dana?
What is your favorite show that you've worked on that no one knows about in Kelowna?
Objection. Council's leading the witness.
Yeah,
Skinner Law degree, that's why.
Oh,
Why don't you just tell us, Dana?
Sorry, I don't know the
Oh,
answer.
okay.
You know, there's a lot of really cool plays that I've worked on. A lot of them are like kind of children's theater plays because I did tours with that, but we'd also sometimes include plays for teens and adults as well. I loved the version of The Glass Menagerie that we toured all through Alberta. I loved a play that's called Mixed Up, which is a play that I wrote with 4 other playwrights. 4 of us got together and wrote, and what was interesting about it is we each wrote on our own, and then we'd get together to have a scrum, so we took characters and we wrote from their perspective, and then we'd get together and like see how the plot lines came together, and then we were also in it. So it was really interesting, and our director was this incredible woman, and it was just a really exciting time. It was all about gangs and drama and messed up parents. I played a really messed up parent, and that was really fun and exciting. And we got to work with the police service and with victims of violence. And I know it sounds pretty dark, but it was an exciting play. So thanks for the question, Dana Murphy.
You're so sweet. And she's like, I'm the sweetest thing in the world, but here's my dark side. It was enjoyable.
I like the dark stuff.
Yeah.
I do like the dark stuff.
You got some dynamic. I'd like to see that.
I got one question.
Hello, Janet.
Tell us about, hi, Bonnie. Tell us about your play reading nights that you have.
Oh.
They're awesome.
That's very nice of you to say. Okay, so play reading nights are a chance for people to hear plays that haven't been done yet in Kelowna, and I try to find lots of artists that are Canadian artists to read their plays. So the next one we're going to be doing is called Some Assembly Required, and it's by a Governor General Award-winning playwright from Calgary named Eugene Stickland. And they're just great because it's a chance for people to hear stuff that they haven't done. And I know at some of those play readings, even other companies have done plays that we've read before, and it's just a chance for us to know that you can explore and try different things, and it's a chance for me to get people's names out there too. I know playwrights are pretty excited when they get readings done of their work, and almost 100% of the time, unless they're an American playwright that is really super popular, I say, how much can I pay you for the rights to be able to read this? And they go, no, I'm so happy that you'll read it.
No, it's like a show. It's shameless self-promotion.
Yeah, I guess so.
Getting it out there.
I guess so, but anyway, it's a good night. They're free. It's at Pulp Fiction Coffee House, and it's the last Tuesday of every month.
Tuesday of every month at Pulp Fiction.
Yeah. Thanks, Janet.
What is it that you love about this city?
Oh, well, the people here are so generous and kind, and the weather is incredible, and the scenery is as beautiful as any place in the world that I've ever been, and I think it's beautiful to be able to get to anywhere in the city in 15 minutes after living in Calgary. Oh my God, it's just a ridiculous.
I live in Vancouver, I hear you.
Yeah, ridiculous time to get around, and I love my life here. I'm in the perfect spot. I think we moved here probably 15 years before we probably would have moved, because we would have always wanted to retire here, but I'm so glad that I did. It's just presented me with so many interesting opportunities and meeting so many wonderful people. So
that's nice.
Yeah. What don't I like about Kelowna?
Well, I was going to ask you that, but you're such a positive person that I don't even know if I should ask that. What would you change if you could change something? In a positive way.
It makes me sad, the number of homeless people that live here.
Yes.
I know why they live here, because it is a warm, beautiful place, and they come here because if you're going to be homeless or in trouble, it's a generous community. It's a warm place to live. It's kind of like the Santa Barbara of, that's what Santa Barbara's like in the States. Yep. But man, does it ever make me sad. I don't know what we're going to do about that. I'm hoping all this journey home stuff is going to lead to positive things, but it hurts me. I have, family that deals with some of those issues, and I see them when I see those people in the street.
Primarily mental health issues and self-medicating or drug abuse, primarily, right? So,
yeah.
So that's where we have to hit it. Zoe.
Casey.
Zoe.
Bill
has a question.
Bill.
New vintage. Bill. What, do you have any grand plans for the future? Any things that you want to achieve in the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years?
Oh my God.
Take over the world, something like that?
I don't know. It's been, I just think we've just done so much in such a short period of time. It's hard for me to imagine doing so much more. I don't have any big aspirations to like build a theater or anything like that. I think it's just awesome to use what we already have in the city. We have a full season of shows. We do theater classes. We have play readings.
Yeah, you guys are busy.
I think it's just a matter of building on having more directors, having more producers, expanding like our crew, like building all that infrastructure so that there's a variety of people and a variety of talents that can really do that. Making sure that we start to pay like right now it's just me, and a lot of what I do for admin is volunteer, and so everybody gets paid for all the shows, but what I do in running the company, like it's, there's a reason I'm working as a teacher full time, right? So it would be great to be able to have like, you know, a general manager and to be able to pay myself or somebody like me to have that base, because that the operational side of things really needs support there. So that kind of stuff is the stuff that people don't see, but it's really needed. So yeah, because there's, you know, a high burnout in the arts for reasons like that.
Yeah. Totally. Do you do any impressions?
I don't do any impressions.
I do an impression of
really.
Danny. You want to hear it again? Mary is no longer a child.
He is such an adorable human being. Try listening
Love
to
him.
Filipino 80s rock songs with Danny for almost an entire year. That was a beautiful thing. And if you're in that show, you know what I mean?
Cover songs like
Well, no,
everybody working for the weekend.
Yeah, pretty much. And you know what? One of the most magical nights in my life in my career
I'm sorry, Danny. I fucking love you.
was actually singing with Danny, because Danny's so incredible.
He's a great singer. He's a 10-time singer.
We gave the cast one of the rare nights they had off during that monster show, and Danny and I did a sing-through with the band, and our band was so incredible for that show. So being able to sing with like Julie Massey and then Jimmy and Dennis and Aaron on drums, and it was just us in this little room doing an entire sing-through of every 80s rock song that I sang in my bedroom as a kid, and that was incredible. I'll never forget that, because I'm not a singer, but that night I was on.
Speed round. List all the songs you sang. Go.
I can't listen.
Nah.
It's 10:30 at
You can do better than that.
night, and
better
I'm
than that.
old. No, I
Name
mean,
one song. One single song. Because you know, here's the thing.
Heart in my heart.
Heart in my heart. What's the next one?
Yeah.
Let's do. You got this.
I thought it would open the floodgates if I
It
picked one.
can't. You know what? I'm not
It's 10:30 at night. I'm old too.
able to go there with you,
Yeah.
but I'll talk about other things if you want.
But we're about wrapping it up.
Good. Well, this has been a really lovely experience.
Has it been a
so-
lovely experience?
It has been
Because
a
you know what?
lovely
You're
experience.
the last interview. Bonnie Gratz is the last interview on Nightcap with Casey Easton. So thank you for coming out.
I think you have a big career ahead of you, kid. Stick with it.
Really?
Stick with it. You've
Thank
got a
you.
big career ahead of you. I see big things for you.
Well, thanks, Bonnie.
Yeah, keep up the good work.
Thanks.
Gold stars.
Thanks to Bonnie. Thanks to Richard Knight. Thanks to Ryan. Thanks to Josh. Thanks to all the crew here at the Grateful Dead. Sayonara.
Nightcap at the Grateful Fed with Casey Easton.